So guys, now that we're back from the holidays, I want to make sure you guys had a very good holiday break. If you did, be sure to let me know what you guys did in the comment section down below. But in today's video, I'm going to be revamping an old type of video that I used to make quite a bit. I want to go over exactly how you guys can learn to IGL really well in chapter 5. Now, I'm not really going to go over the same format and the same exact tips that I did in the previous IGL videos from previous years and seasons that I have made before. If you guys want to see those, be sure to check them out. I'm going to leave a link to a couple of them in the description. But in today's video, I want to attack IGLing from a new, more modern approach. I think that if you watch this whole video, you're going to definitely be able to learn everything there is to learn about IGLing, and you're really going to improve in this new duos format. Let's hop right into this video. Okay guys, so to start off, I want to go over having a plan and leading with that plan. So this is going to be pretty generic, except I really want you guys to internalize the overarching message of this. Essentially what I mean is that when you're going to be having a plan, that means that you need to have an exact orchestration of events and stuff you want to happen in order to have the best chance of actually winning the game. So what I mean by this is that let's say that you're playing and you want to have your team rotate a certain direction. You need to have a plan. Do you want your team to rotate dead side? Do you guys want to rotate the more contested side and try to W key? You guys can determine that by talking to your partner, determining what you guys are better at. If you're better at fighting, maybe rotate into the contested areas. If you're worse at fighting, maybe go to dead side and try to play for placement. Also keep in mind that it might depend on the game and the tournament that you're actually in. However, having a plan is really important, not only because it gives an actual outline for the whole entire game, it also keeps your partner in line and makes sure they know what's going on as well. Now this can come in any form at any time of the game. You guys can have a plan for off spawn. Where are you going to land? Where are you going to land if you're contested? And how are you going to fight off spawn? Who's going to be on the high ground? Who's going to be on the low ground? Who's going to be shooting at the builds versus shooting at the actual player? These are all questions that you guys have to have answered if you want to have a good plan when you're in IGL. It can also take form in the mid game and when you guys are trying to rotate around the map, trying to get to a high ground position, maybe try to get some storm surge tags. You need to answer all those questions and make yourself a solid, very good routine for what you guys are going to do every single game. And then in the end game, it can come in multiple different forms. It can come in their forms of rotation. If you guys want to rotate to the dead side, rotate early, rotate late, depending on the zone. You guys want to use mobility, whatever it may be. It can also be fragging. Fragging can depend on exactly if you guys want to try to get kills early or late in the end game. If you guys want to get a refresh when you're high on mats so that you can rebuild, or if you want to get a refresh when you're low on mats and you can just save those mats and reuse them as you're going. Basically guys, on all three stages of the game, having a plan is super key to actually performing well. My recommendation would be for the mid game to have a set spot that you will rotate to, and then for the end game, try to find the best path and have a route that you guys can rotate throughout the zone. You can get that by scouting, which basically means looking through cones and looking around the area, seeing how other players are moving, seeing what other mobility players have and when they use it. And then of course guys, the final thing about having a plan is knowing when to switch up the plan. So let's say your plan goes south. You need to try to have a backup strategy or something that you can fall back on just in case it does get messed up. So let's say you're trying to rotate around through the mid game and somebody's already on the hill that you want to base up on. Try to find another hill. Try to look for an area where this zone may pull. If you guys can, maybe go get a forecast tower, see the next zone, and then base up in that zone. There's a lot of different things you guys can do here. Basically, having a plan leads to really good leading through example in IGLing. And this is one of the most important aspects. Now let's get into the second one, which is going to be micromanaging. Now it's actually been said by plenty of really good IGLs in the past that micromanaging is one of the worst ways to IGL. However, over the competitive years, I've learned by watching actual pro players and seeing how they perform and how well they do in tournaments and who these players are, that micromanaging is by far the best way of actually IGLing effectively. Now, if you guys don't understand, micromanaging is basically looking at your partner and basically telling them exactly what you want them to do, when to do it, and how to act. Now, the main thing of micromanaging is that it's really effective in controlling tunnel visioning. Now, if you guys don't know, tunnel visioning is when you try to focus on one thing. So let's say you damage a player a lot and you really want this kill, you're going to be really laser focused and everything else is going to fade out of your field of vision. That's a bad thing because if you try to go too hard and pursue a kill too much, you might actually end up suffering and maybe getting even eliminated for it. Tunnel visioning is not good, whether it's rotation, whether it's getting an elimination, whether it's trying to get loot. Tunnel visioning is never a good thing, and the best way to avoid that is have an IGL that micromanages you. As an IGL, to avoid tunnel visioning yourself, you need to micromanage yourself alongside your duo partner as well. What that will do is this will help keep the team in line and make sure you guys don't step out of your boundaries and do something that's really not very smart in this situation. Micromanaging, in my opinion, is the best format of actually controlling your team. A lot of people don't do this enough, and that's why their teammates have very little trust in them. Because if you put your foot down as an IGL and micromanage everything that your teammate does, your teammate, if they respect your playstyle and your placements and trust you, will actually listen and therefore do better as a result. Now, many different pro players like Sonata, Queasy, they're very good micromanagers in these end games and throughout the whole game in general because they're very effective in controlling their duo partners. So that's why I'd recommend micromanaging as the main IGL strategy. Let's get into confidence. Now, confidence is a really big part of IGLing. Not only because it really reflects how good of an IGL you are, but it really convinces your duo partner to follow your lead. My recommendation would be to be very confident in your calls. So let's say that you make a decision to rotate one way, put your foot down. That is the final decision. Don't hesitate whatsoever. If you make bad decisions, which yes, it inevitably will happen because competitive Fortnite does get unlucky sometimes, you need to own up to these bad decisions. Don't blame it on your duo partner. Own up to what you did wrong and then fix them in VOD reviews in practice. When you're scrimming, make sure you take notes and understand exactly what you guys did wrong last time and how to fix it. That's the main thing with confidence. If you guys practice and actually study your own gameplay, your confidence will improve naturally. That's why I recommend everybody VOD reviews and everybody scrims. It's an extremely important skill for a lot of players. Adding on to that, I'd recommend that you guys definitely think quick and try not to hesitate. So some of the best IGLs in the world, like I said before, Sonata, Queasy, those are just a couple examples. They are really good at thinking quick and not hesitating whatsoever. The main reason for this is because they do it in the professional tournaments, the LAN events, and they have to do it on the world stage, so they're trying to think quick and not hesitate because it really pays off if you get good at it and when you practice it. Now what I mean by this is that let's say that you have a rotation and the rotation goes south. You want to go to a backup plan, rotate a different direction. Try to just find a place really quickly and stick to it. Don't hesitate. The longer you wait, especially in those tight, fast-moving endgames, the less opportunities you have. So if you see an opportunity and you even think it's remotely possible, definitely be sure to take it. And yes, as you get more experience in competitive Fortnite, your decision making and your thinking quick will get better. You guys will actually find better routes and better ways to actually rotate on the fly. However, as of right when you guys are starting IGLing, or even you're a mediocre IGL, you need to start doing it then. Because then as you guys grow as players, it's definitely going to improve your gameplay and your overall leading ability. Now once again, you may make bad decisions, but you need to own up to them, and the more you make bad decisions and the more you study them, you will learn to play better. It's just common sense. How does a human brain learn? They can make mistakes and they can learn from those mistakes and then re-implement them into their practice, into their actual games. Now guys, the final section for IGLs right here, this is going to be comms. My recommendation would be that if you guys are trying to comm to your teammate, basically what this means is you're trying to give them voice comms, you're trying to tell them what to do. What I would recommend is rather than actually focusing on what you guys are saying first, focus on how your partner reacts to certain comms. So let's say that I'm trying to go throughout the end game and I get an elimination. I get a kill and I decide in my brain as an IGL that I want to push into the box and get more kills. I can talk to my teammate, I can say push in, because that basically means, hey, I want to aggress onto this player and you should come with me. However, let's say I get the kill and I want to stop, regroup, get the mats, refresh. I can say, hey, chill, take it slow. That's a really good way to control your duo partner. Obviously, there's comms that are going to be very muddled. There's comms that are kind of confusing sometimes from a lot of players. However, you need to make sure that you're clear as day. When you say push in, there's really only one opportunity for that. You can push into another enemy team's box and you can try to get an elimination. But when you say chill and take it slow, the person knows exactly what you mean. Your partner knows exactly what you mean. They basically know, hey, stop moving, regroup, see what the situation is, try to scout, go for the next zone. You need to be crystal clear in what you're saying. And if you guys are able to learn the way your duo partner reacts to certain comms and also understand how you can be clear when you comm, not only will your comms improve and your general team organization will, but everything else I went over on this list, having a plan, micromanaging, confidence, thinking quick, that stuff will improve as well because somewhat the fragger and your duo partner knows exactly what you're thinking. And then they will be able to learn their own game sense skills and refine those as well. Guys, that is the video on exactly how to IGL. I do plan to make a video on how to frag in Chapter 5 very soon, so be sure to stick around for that. I'm really enjoying the new meta of exactly how to play and how to rotate throughout these endgames. I think it's going to be a really valuable and really competitive season. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel down below if you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.